Mobile Task Force Unit Beta-7, designated the Maz Hatters, have landed on Helipad C, as well as Mobile Task Force Unit Delta-7, designated Cloud-9. Beta-7 has been dispatched to this site to assist in the recontainment of several biohazardous SCPs. We advise all personnel to find a safe area away from others, and if possible to please cover your nose and mouth with a face mask. Mobile Task Force Unit Delta-7 will begin evacuation efforts after all biohazardous SCPs have been recontained.
The call comes in at 3 a.m. Something in a containment wing has stopped behaving like it should. You're already awake before your radio finishes the second buzz. You pull on a suit built to keep the outside world out, and whatever's inside you, in. You are MTF Beta-7, nicknamed Maz Hatters. When something biological, chemical, or radiological gets loose, you're one of the first people walking toward it, not away from it. This is what that actually looks like, mission by mission, from inside the mask. Your task force exists for one category of nightmare: anything that spreads. Biological outbreaks, chemical contamination, radiological hazards. If it can multiply, mutate, or contaminate an entire area, it's your unit's problem. You don't just contain the source, you clean up everything the source has already touched. Your unit is also trained for something most task forces never have to plan for: a wide area, pandemic-scale spread of an anomalous disease. Most Foundation personnel hope they never see you deployed. When they do, it means something has already gone seriously wrong. Before every deployment, you check your suit twice. Then you check it again, Level A protection. The highest grade the Foundation issues: full encapsulation, self-contained air, no exposed skin anywhere. It's built to stop almost anything from getting in. It says nothing about what happens if it fails. You've heard the stories of suits that held right up until the moment they didn't. You put it on anyway. Every single time. Most Foundation personnel know dozens of SCP numbers only from files. You know 2 of them personally. SCP-008. Officially, Zombie Plague. A virus that doesn't just kill its host, it repurposes them. SCP-610. The flesh that hates. The one your entire unit was built to be ready for. Every new recruit in Beta-7 learns these 2 files before almost anything else. SCP-610 wasn't always an accident. It was built. The Kalmaktama Empire developed it as a bioweapon during an ancient conflict called the War of the Flesh. It converts organic matter, any organic matter, into more of itself. It spreads through simple physical contact. In the worst scenario the Foundation ever modeled, it earned a different name: the Red Death. In that scenario, only 2 rival organizations working together managed to stop it: the Global Occult Coalition and the Church of the Broken God. You've never faced the Red Death scenario. You train as if you might, every week. Captain Myers leads your detachment. He's led it longer than most Beta-7 postings last. Corporal Sangchul Kim handles your entry breach protocols. Precise, methodical. The kind of precise that keeps people alive. Private Jerry Steele Briggs carries more of the heavy decontamination gear than anyone technically has to. Dr. Felsenstein isn't a combat operative. He's the reason half your missions end in successful containment instead of total loss. Not every name on your unit's roster carries a rank anymore. Some only carry a small mark next to them. You've learned not to think about that mark before a mission. Only after. One mission stands out from the rest, even years later. The Chaos Insurgency had gotten their hands on SCP-008, not the original strain, a modified one. Nobody knew exactly what had been changed or why. Your unit was sent to recover it before the insurgency could finish whatever they were building it toward. You don't remember every detail of that raid. You remember the moment the sample case was finally back in Foundation hands. January 28, 1971. Long before you joined, but every Beta-7 operative learns this mission by heart. Reports came in of erratic behavior near the site, vehicles malfunctioning, people having seizures for no clear reason. Elements of Beta-7 and MTF Beta-10, See No Evil, were sent to investigate. The cause was designated SCP-1661. Then it happened to them too. Despite full protective gear, the detachment began experiencing the same seizures. Whatever SCP-1661 was doing, it wasn't stopped by a hazmat suit. Eventually, the detachment succeeded, containing the entity behind the incident. It was later reclassified Archon. You've read that incident report more times than you can count. It changes how you check your gear before every mission. A suit is built to stop what it was designed to stop. Not everything qualifies. Some threats don't go through the seams. They go around the entire premise of what a SEAL is supposed to do. You suit up anyway. The alternative is letting something spread unchecked, and that has its own body count. Not every threat waits inside a containment cell. Some are already loose in the wild and have been for a while. SCP-2680 doesn't spread through a single site. It spreads through a population, quietly, before anyone notices the pattern. You've worked this one alongside 2 other task forces. Kappa-3, the Teetotalers. Lambda-12, Pest Control. 3 units, 1 outbreak, spread across more ground than any single task force could realistically cover. Purging an infection like that isn't one raid. It's dozens of small ones spread across weeks. 2024. A call comes in from near an active site involving Are We Cool Yet? An anomalous artists collective the Foundation keeps a wary eye on. SCP-5397 has just been discovered, active in the middle of their gathering. Your unit arrives fast. Before you can contain anything, you have to negotiate. The head of the gathering agrees to a temporary lockdown. That agreement buys you the room you need to work. Subjects already affected by liquefaction are secured together in the main hall. Everyone else who made contact goes into separate quarantine. No further conversions, no wider outbreak, just a long night of careful, exact procedure. 6 days after the Are We Cool Yet? Incident. Before you fully recovered, a new assignment comes in. A remote orphanage in the Alps, northeast of Avignon. Suspected headquarters of something the Foundation calls the Cruise Cell. MTF Epsilon 6, the village idiots, are sent in alongside you. 2 very different specialties, one shared objective. Nobody tells you exactly what's inside before you go in. That's usually how you know it's bad. Whatever the Cruise Cell was building behind that quiet, ordinary-looking building, it wasn't ordinary at all. The worst radio call of your career starts with a number nobody wants to hear. 8. 8 Keter-class entities. Breached simultaneously at Site 55. Most containment breaches involve one entity. This wasn't most breaches. 3 members of your unit are called in specifically to examine one affected floor in detail. You don't get the full picture walking in. You get it floor by floor, room by room, as it becomes safe enough to look. By the time the floor is stable, you understand exactly why this call started with the number 8, and not a smaller one. Your gear stops viruses. It stops chemical agents. It stops most radiation you'll ever be exposed to. It does nothing for what you remember after the mission is over. You've seen townships that used to be full of people. You've seen what SCP-610 leaves behind when it finishes. Nobody issues a suit for that part of the job. Your gear stops viruses. It stops chemical agents. It stops most radiation you'll ever be exposed to. It does nothing for what you remember after the mission is over. You've seen townships that used to be full of people. You've seen what SCP-610 leaves behind when it finishes. Nobody issues a suit for that part of the job. Every task force takes casualties. Yours takes a specific kind. When a soldier falls on most missions, the threat is usually contained by then. When one of yours falls, the threat is often still spreading. You don't get to stop and process it mid-operation. The outbreak doesn't wait for you to grieve. That comes later. In the debrief room, in the quiet after the suit finally comes off, nobody in the unit fully agrees on where the nickname came from. That's true of most Foundation task forces. What everyone agrees on is what it's come to mean. Unpredictable work, done by people who stay steady anyway. Outsiders hear the name and picture something whimsical. Anyone who's actually deployed with you knows better. You've stopped correcting people about it, Let the name sound light. The work speaks for itself. You joined a unit built around a simple, unglamorous idea. Someone has to go toward the outbreak, not away from it. You've worn a suit into rooms most personnel will never be ordered to enter. You've lost teammates to threats that didn't care how good the equipment was. And you've come back again and again because the alternative is letting the next outbreak spread unchecked. That's what it actually means to be Maz Hatters, not the name. The choice to keep answering the call. A suit, a mask, and a job that starts the moment everyone else is told to leave. That's MTF Beta-7. That's what it means to be Maz Hatters. All information in this video comes from scpwiki.com and its documented SCP entries and task force records. The SCP Foundation is a collaborative fiction project. Every entry referenced here is the work of individual authors, shared under Creative Commons. The full entries are free to read at scpwiki.com. Next week on Shroudex Explained, hit subscribe so you don't miss it.